Hello, everybody. Gina Stroll here with Gina Stroll Intuitive Healing. I'm a psychic medium and spiritual coach, and I am excited to be here today. So, as you all come in, please say hi and let me know that you're here. So, I had a request this week for a really cool thing, and I want to talk about our spiritual gifts and how to let go of the fears wrapped around our spiritual gifts and development. So, it's been very interesting as I was thinking about this today. I actually went and did my Wednesday's Words of Wisdom. So there's going to be lots of opportunities for you to learn about this. And I realized I really hadn't talked about development, really like the development process and how do we find our spiritual gifts? How do we realize what we're here to do? And so I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about that today and kind of put some good vibes out there for those of you who are maybe struggling or maybe afraid to come out of the spiritual closet, so to speak, because I think that that fear keeps us from doing what we are designed to do. And so if we can really learn to work with that fear and let it go. But first of all, let's talk about spiritual gifts and abilities. What are they? To me, these are all God-given abilities. They're all given to us by the divine. I believe that we all came here with an opportunity to help spread joy and help the world really do their healing work. And those abilities can come in all shapes and sizes. To me, even being a really good nurse or being a good doctor and helping people heal, those are all spiritual abilities and gifts to me. Being a healer is definitely a spiritual gift. The gift of mediumship. Maybe you read tarot cards, maybe you see auric fields and see where people's energy is a little bit bound up on what they need. Maybe for some, I know my beautiful friend Michelle Thomas is a very good medical intuitive. She's able to look at the body and kind of see what's going on and what it needs and how it needs more support. These are all beautiful intuitive gifts. There's shamanism. There's a million things. There's a bunch of them out there, some that I don't even know about yet. I know there's been a lot of different talk over the years. Even intuition to me is a spiritual ability. And all of these abilities are things that we need to learn to use. And that's why I call them an ability. Hi, Claudia. That's why I call them an ability over a gift, because I do believe we are given these gifts, but it is also our opportunity and part of our growth to learn how to use them and to learn how to let go of the fear and really step into this place of understanding who we are and why we're here and what we're here to do. Now, I believe that's ever changing. I don't believe I'm at a place in my life where I'm like, okay, I'm good. I'm not going to learn anything else. I'm a lifelong learner. I will continue to add to my toolbox for years and years to come. But I believe that for me, it's really time to help you. I've been guided by spirit. It's time to help you guys let go of your fears. This world needs each and every one of you. It needs all of you who are out there sitting on the sidelines, waiting to get tagged in, thinking that it's somehow going to get easier. We have to do our own work around our spiritual abilities. We have to really do the spiritual development work. For me, that's included taking classes, following people that I love their energy and that I can learn from. It's been about doing my own personal healing and my own development work and really just going where I'm guided and really listening to that intuition and finding what my abilities are. For those of you who know my journey a little bit, if you don't, I did not do this until later on in life. I spent a lot of years flapping my wings, so to speak, trying to figure out who I was, and which was a normal process to me. That's just part of growing up. And then as I got into my later years, I really started opening up and people started showing up in my life and things started coming in. And I realized, oh my gosh, it explained my lifetime to me, because I realized at that time I had been seeing spirit my whole life. I realized that I'd had these abilities all along and I had shut them off because they scared the crap out of me and I didn't know what to do with them, but I had shut them down until many years later when I really started discovering myself again and my awakening process began. And that's usually when our spiritual gifts come in for us, is when this awakening process begins. And as kids, we're more open to it. If you're born with these abilities and they're there for you, we're more open to it unless we get shut down. If your family doesn't believe in them or religious beliefs tell you, we get shut down. And so that can be a whole other thing that we have to work through when we do decide to wake up again. But as kids, we're really open to the supernatural or the things that we think are, faith-based, or, we really can't describe what's going on or how we know what we know. We just know. If we get that shut down as a child, it definitely takes a little bit of work to work through that. If you were fortunate enough to have a family, which I was not, who is all about helping you develop your spiritual gifts, kudos to you. That was not my experience. And so I did have a lot of fears and a lot of things that I had to work through in order for me to do my development process. And it's okay. Our own beliefs about the supernatural will bring in fears for us. Our family beliefs, religious beliefs, any society beliefs that we hold dear, those are all going to hamper us from our development. And so until we do our healing work and work through those things, it's going to be really hard to come out into the open. I do believe that we all come out into the open when we're ready. I call it like the coming out of the spiritual closet. I know exactly what that feels like, because I remember when I came out of the spiritual closet, and I remember being terrified. And for me, it happened a couple of times. Back in 2017, at the end of 16, the first of 17, I had been really nudged by my guides telling me that I needed to come out on social media. And that scared the holy living shit out of me, literally. I remember thinking, what will people think? And the judgments and the fears and all of the things. And I remember I finally just trusted it. And I started easy. I came out in my groups, and I came out in some other ways that I really started easy with that. And then I remember when I wrote my first book, I guess my only book right now, when I wrote my book, and I remember it was getting ready to be published, and I had a moment where it was a few weeks of a moment where I was literally blowing in the bag thinking, oh my gosh, now my story is out and it's written in a book. Like, there is no denying it now. And so there were some key times in my life where I really just had to trust that there was a reason that I was doing what I was doing, and that there was lots of healing that was happening for me while I was doing it. So, to me, the best thing that I can tell you with development is really start following your intuition, start listening to your intuition. You're here, which tells me you're being called to wake up. And so it's time to wake up. It's time to come out into the open. And there's things that you can do along the way. Listen to your guidance. If you're guided to take a class, if you're guided to follow someone, if you're guided, you will get something from everything that you do, as long as you listen to your guidance and do what you're told to do. I know there were many times where I would have a question or not know what the answer was or how to handle it, and someone would show up in my news feed, or I would go ask my guides. We can ask our guides every day for help. We don't get a rule book or an instruction manual with our abilities. We all have to take our own journey and discover them. And so when you're guided to follow this person, or you're guided to go take a class, or you're guided to go here, everything that we do is for our growth. And it's never going to lead you the wrong way. Your intuition is going to give you exactly what you need at the time. And so if you can follow that, you can learn to trust that a little bit more. You can learn to trust in yourself, really connect with that spiritual part of yourself, and really just go where you're guided. This is how we really start to develop. Anytime that you can set in meditation and really learn to quiet down that mind so that you can get greater answers, get more clarity, to me, that's one of the greatest ways that we do our development work. And of course, doing our personal development, really working on ourselves, really discovering parts of ourselves that need some work, that we need to let go of, patterns and things in our lives, people that we need to let go of so that we can do the work that we need to do. I know there was a time for me where I had to really let go of a lot of people that were in my life, and it was really hard. But now I know that I had to do that because I was allowing myself to be tethered and held back by these people. And it wasn't their fault. It was mine. It was a way for me to stay small. But I had to let some people go in my life so that I could grow and reach out really past that box. It was kind of like I was in a box, and as long as I stayed there, I wasn't going to get where I needed to go. But as soon as I let that go, new opportunities opened up. Things happened, and a lot of it was boundary work for me. It was just really freeing up my energy to be open in other spaces. So there's things that come along in our development, and it's really just following that and opening up to that. To me, I'm all about making this a normal way of being, making it normal to go, you know what? No, I feel like this is where I need to go, and this is what I'm going to do this time. And I think it's becoming more normal, but I think we can even do better. And I think that I am here. I know that I am here to help beautiful souls like you guys really open up to your abilities. You guys have so much to offer this world. Even if you don't realize, if you don't know how, you don't have to know the how. You just start doing your work. You start putting yourself out there. You start showing up in a different way. Really start clearing out your energy fields, start tapping into spirit, tapping into guides. And it's a process. It's not something you're just going to do overnight. It's a little here and a little there, and letting it become your norm, and really putting yourself out there in the world, and then following those nudges. If you're told you need to do something, put yourself out on social media, then you do it. I remember when I was going through that, and I called one of my mentors and I said, I don't know what to do. I'm terrified to create a Facebook group and put my name on it and mediumship next to it, because at the time I was doing full-fledged mediumship. That was it. I was not offering healing work. I was just doing mediumship. And I remember my mentor told me, when spirit speaks, Gina, you listen. And so that has really been a defining moment in my life, because I really have stuck by that this whole time. So when spirit speaks, I need to listen, even if it takes me a minute, even if I want to argue with them and tell them they're crazy and it's not going to happen. I may stomp my feet for a little bit, and then I usually end up doing it. So this is how we go through the development process. There is, just like everything in life, there is no easy fix. How do you find what you're supposed to do? Or I don't know that I think it's always evolving, but we go, and just like I said earlier, you take a class here, you do something here, you follow this person, you learn something here, you realize you love doing, your passion is in whatever it is, you follow those passions, because when you follow the passion and the things that you think you want to do, that's where you're going to find where you serve in this world. And it really is kind of an open playbook. I've taken a lot of different classes, everything from shamanism to card reading to, I can't even tell you I've done meditation classes. I'm doing a different technique for meditation. I've done a ton of healing classes. I've done a bunch of healing certification classes. Like, I just follow it all because I think it's all beneficial. And I add it to my toolbox, and I take out of that what I can use, and I leave the rest, and maybe it comes out later. It doesn't matter. So, when we start listening to those little nudges, we start doing those little things, that's where we find how we can serve best. Sometimes it's not always serving in what we would consider a supernatural type of thing. Sometimes where we can serve is, maybe you're a good intuitive, you use your intuition in the medical field. Geez, that's something that we're lacking right now. If you can find a doctor or someone who uses their intuition in the medical field, bam, like, you're in. So, but we have those people out there. We have those type of people out there. And so sometimes it's that. Sometimes it's in the counseling world or social work, or, people are bringing more intuition, more supernatural abilities into the everyday work. And so it's not always about doing these, being a healer or being a medium or, doing card readings or Reiki or any of the things. Sometimes it's just about learning to use your spiritual abilities in the job that you're in or wherever you're at. And that's where you're designed to serve. So, it's really just opening up to all of it and, seeing where it falls for you. So if you're on with me, does anybody have any questions or anything that has like stood out to you today? I appreciate you being here. Really letting go of the fear is half the battle in this whole stepping out into the light. And sometimes the fear creeps back in later, and it's okay. It's all a healing process for us. It's really all about letting beliefs go. So if you have comments, if you have questions, I would love to hear from you. And I was excited to come in here and talk about this today because I'm like, we need to talk more about spiritual gifts. We need to talk about how to find our spiritual gifts. We need to talk about how to really develop ourselves so that we can open up more to those spiritual gifts and really make this an open conversation, because I think it's one that is much needed right now in the world that's going on around us, and really letting go of the fear. Oh, you're welcome, Jennifer. You're very welcome. So it's really just letting go of the fear and trusting that your journey is perfect for you. And no matter where you've done, what you've done, where you've been, what you're doing, you're right where you need to be right now. And the next step will be laid out for you as long as you're open, as long as you're listening, your intuition is there for you, your guides are there for you. Your next step will be laid out for you at the perfect time. The perfect timing always comes in. Looking back over my development, I have seen that time and time and time again. I beat up myself for a long time because I said if I was a better medium or a better person, I would have done it sooner. I wasn't ready to do it sooner. I wasn't ready to let go of the fears. I wasn't ready to do any of it. And so it came at the perfect time for me and the perfect time for my family. And so, we need to trust that we're right on that perfect path for ourselves. So ask your guides for help. Ask your people in spirit for help. Ask them to open up you and to help you do your healing work so that you can really open up and be the person that you are here to be in this world. So you all have a mission. You all have an opportunity here to serve, every single one of us. And it's really just learning to allow the awakening process to happen so that you can discover what it is that you are here to do. And I also believe that it's ever changing. Where I'm at today is not where I will be in 20 years from now. And I may be doing something totally different. I don't know. Like, who knows where it'll end up? And it doesn't matter. But right now, I'm right where I need to be. So if you can remember that too, as we go on, it's not your final destination. It's just where you need to be right now. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Much love to all of you. I appreciate all of you in my beautiful world. I'm grateful for every single one of you. So if you are watching the replay, let me know. Tag me, leave comments. I'd love to hear from you. So I hope you guys all have a fabulous weekend. It is Labor Day weekend here in the States for those of you who are in the States. I hope you enjoy your time. So much love to you all, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.